Chase Sr. and Harrison Graham here live at Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona, the site of Super Bowl 57, just down the road in Glendale. And we are here to preview, a little early week preview of this Super Bowl matchup. Media night coming up here in about an hour, Chase. We're going to go check that out. We are here. We made it. This video, by the way, is going to go both on the Chiefs report and on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Just some quick thoughts, Chase, now that we've gotten here, that we've made it to Radio Row here in Phoenix before we kind of break down this matchup.
Well, fantastic to be here. We're going to be bringing you the best content all throughout the week. We'll be doing shows like this, but also doing some interviews with some media personalities, hopefully some celebrities coming on as well. And obviously it's a dream come true when you grow up dreaming of covering the National Football League, to be covering a Super Bowl and to do it between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Such a much anticipated matchup as well between two of these powers. It's going to be a fantastic game on Sunday.
And we wanted to challenge the fan bases before we jump on in here because, again, this is going to go on the Chiefs report and on Eagles Now. Which fan base is louder? Which fan base is more proud? If you're a Chiefs fan and you got the Chiefs winning this matchup, type KC down in the comments. If you're an Eagles fan and a proud supporter of Eagles Now, type PHI down below. Like Chase said, should be a fantastic matchup. KC for the Chiefs or PHI for the Eagles. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this game just a little bit here as really, Chase, you look at this matchup, and Field Yates had a fascinating tweet earlier today. Very evenly matched teams. I mean, Kansas City, #1 scoring offense. Eagles, top 5 in offense, top 10 in defense. Chiefs defense a little further down, but we saw how capable they can be against Cincinnati, holding Joe Burrow in that offense to 20 points. There's a reason that Philadelphia is a 1-point favorite and that this is shaping out to be hopefully one of the better Super Bowls in recent memory. It's rare, Chase, that you get the true two best team standings. #1 in the East, #1 in the AFC, NFC. I got NBA mixed up there for a second. Two best teams remaining, though, Chase, and here we are set up for Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, it's funny because you talk about that, right? And both teams, including the playoffs, 16-3 in the regular season, both teams have scored in the regular season and the playoffs the same amount of points. Both teams have 6 Pro Bowlers and all pros. So this is a matchup between Philadelphia and Kansas City where you canvass the rosters offensively and defensively. There's star-studded players on both sides. Both offenses have been juggernauts. Both defenses are also really good. So what's going to give come Sunday between two of these teams that are so evenly matched?
Yeah, then you just throw in the storylines too. Andy Reid Bowl, Kelce Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be fantastic. The storylines are there. The star power is there. You're talking about two great fan bases, two prideful franchises as well, and two teams that, quite frankly, I don't think are going anywhere anytime soon. You got a lot of youth talent on both of these squads as well. Two young, talented quarterbacks. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been here and done that, but Jalen Hurts looking to leave his stamp on this as well. Some injury notes from Monday. Now, neither team practiced, so we don't have like specific updates on certain players. But for the Chiefs, Mecole Hardman officially placed on injured reserve with that pelvis injury, re-aggravated it in the AFC Championship. He will not be available. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was activated. He has not played in a while. That makes me think he'll probably be RB3 for Kansas City over Ronald Jones. Of course, Isaiah Pacheco and Jarrett McKinnon have kind of emerged as the top two backs for Kansas City. Again, no practice today, so we don't know where JuJu Smith-Schuster and Kadarius Toney are as of now, but the expectation at the end of this past week's practices were that both would be able to play in the Super Bowl. And then Chase for Philadelphia, bit of a different story, a little more healthy squad right now.
Yeah, all 22 starters for Philadelphia expected to be healthy for this game on Sunday. Now, Landon Dickerson did suffer that hyperextended elbow injury in the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. Did miss the final 13 plays of that game, but he's expected to play. Lane Johnson, as we knew going into the playoffs, was going to continue to battle that groin injury. He admitted that he retore it against the Giants in the divisional round, but he had a clean sheet against Nick Bosa, who's probably going to be the defensive player of the year. Jalen Hurts looks as though he's going to be okay, but that shoulder probably not 100%. But, of course, the MVP candidate alongside Patrick Mahomes is going to be suiting up for this game. And then Avonte Maddox was wearing that boot last week at the NovaCare Complex. That was more precautionary. And him playing in the slot, he figures to have a pivotal role going up against this loaded Chiefs offense, which doesn't quite have the weaponry of last year's team because of that trade of Tyreek Hill. But obviously, with Patrick Mahomes slinging the rock, he's so good at making plays in structure, improvisationally out of structure, and Avonte Maddox playing in that slot cornerback role, going to be a huge player for this Eagles defense.
Today's sponsor is Athletic Greens, and AG1 by Athletic Greens is something I've been taking for a few weeks now. So has Chase Sr. And Chase got creative on our traveling here, was able to sneak in a couple of scoops onto the plane. You know, we don't talk about how that was able to get done, but you need that extra energy this week. We're going to be working 12, 15-hour days out here.
Well, here's the great thing about Athletic Greens, and if you do go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports and you use our link, you get 5 free travel packs. And I'm using all of them throughout the trip here in Arizona. You also get a year's supply of vitamin D, which is also really huge if you want to boost your immune system. And for AG1, I take a small scoop every day before and after my workouts. And it's been something that I've really implemented into my daily routine because I've really tried to prioritize my health. But given that we're working so long in our Dallas studios and here during Super Bowl week, gives you sustained energy as well as boosting your immune system. So that's why I love Athletic Greens so much. Harry.
Yeah, the travel packs are nice, too, when you do travel. I throw in the little bottle of vitamin D. You are good to go. Free year supply worth when you go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That is athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check that link in the description and in the comments of today's video. AG1 by Athletic Greens. 1 scoop a day. You're going to be feeling a lot better, and your day is going to run much smoother. All right, so Chase and I each have 3 keys to victory. We're going to alternate here. We'll start with the Chiefs here. I think key number 1, and really it kind of takes me back to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, Chase, but especially when you look at this matchup, the offensive tackles, really the whole offensive line, but especially the tackles can be a weakness at times for Kansas City, must hold up in this game. They're going up against Philadelphia, who led the NFL with, I believe, 78 sacks is the number there. Andrew Wiley at right tackle against Hassan Reddick, which I assume the Eagles are going to try to exploit that matchup. How do you handle that if you're Kansas City? What's the plan? Do you chip with tight ends? Does Jarrett McKinnon get more run in this game because he's the best blocking running back you have? I would have to think that that is going to be the case. You cannot let Hassan Reddick tee off on Andrew Wiley one-on-one throughout this matchup. Now, obviously, this offensive line is much better suited than it was a couple of years ago against Tampa Bay when they had multiple injuries. Brett Veach did a nice job of rebuilding that. But Orlando Brown's been a little up and down at left tackle. Like I said, Wiley at right tackle has been solid, but he's more of a stopgap option this year. I'm keeping an eye on that position for Kansas City.
Yeah, my number 1 key for the Eagles is to generate a consistent pass rush against Patrick Mahomes. You look at the past 2 Super Bowl winners. Last year, the Los Angeles Rams, led by Aaron Donald, set a record for the most sacks in Super Bowl history against Joe Burrow. And on that final drive, when the Bengals were going for the win, the Rams' defensive line was able to cause destruction. The year before that, Tampa Bay Buccaneers able to generate the most quarterback pressures in the history of the Super Bowl. And for Philadelphia, if you generate a pass rush on Patrick Mahomes, that's how you can bring home your second Lombardi trophy. Philadelphia this year, 78 sacks combined in the regular season as well as the playoffs. They had 70 in the regular season, 15 more than any team. And throughout the playoffs here, led by Hassan Reddick, as Harry said, who now has 19 and a half sacks combined in the regular season and the playoffs, they have taken over and dominated the trenches and the line of scrimmage. You do that, and you don't give Patrick Mahomes an opportunity to extend plays, to survey the field, to pick apart your defense for a secondary that has been a little bit suspect against elite quarterbacks in the NFL. That's how Philadelphia can win this game. So with that, we're talking about the quarterbacks, of course, because it's a matchup between 2 of the best ones in the National Football League. Who has the better game on Sunday in Glendale, Arizona? Is it Mahomes type PM? Is it Jalen Hurts type JH? Let us know down in the comment section. Obviously, a huge talking point heading into this ball game.
And before we get to my next key to victory for Kansas City, we said it off the top. We'll say it again here. We're going to be live from Super Bowl Radio Row all week long, whether it's with just videos on demand or actual live streams. I might go live on the Chiefs Report. Chase might go live on Eagles Now from time to time. It'll just kind of depend on how the week goes. Again, we'll have some guests on, so we'll have to kind of move the schedule around a little bit, but either way, more content than normal coming your way. Look out for some YouTube shorts as well. Keep an eye on that on the channel. Subscribe, turn on the notifications. The links to each channel have been cycling at the bottom of your screen, so be sure you stay tapped in throughout the week. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, I think if you're Kansas City, while he has improved, obviously, as a pocket passer, I think that's your best avenue to success defensively is make him a pocket passer, make him live in the pocket and deliver the football to A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. Easier said than done, but you've got a young secondary that's playing better, so I think you feel a little bit better about that back end. Hopefully L'Jarius Sneed is able to give it a go. He's been in the concussion protocol, but Jalen Watts and Josh Williams have really played well as rookies. I thought they played really, really well against Joe Burrow and those receivers. You can't let Jalen Hurts break contain, at least not a lot. I mean, he's going to get loose a couple of times. We know that. But when he does, limit the damage, hold up on the back end. Obviously, Spags likes to blitz. Is this a game you blitz less and play more coverage and make Jalen Hurts throw the ball into tight windows? I think that's a possibility. Fascinated to see what his game plan is. But when you rush, you have to rush with discipline if you are Kansas City.
Next key to a win for the Birds, we talked about them taking over the defensive line of the scrimmage. Well, they have to do the same offensively. Philadelphia in the divisional round ran for nearly 270 yards against the New York Giants. And then against the San Francisco 49ers, they ran for nearly 150 yards. This is the best offensive line in football. Every member of it is an all-pro, a Pro Bowler, or a Pro Bowl alternate. They can control this game and keep that Chiefs offense on the sideline so that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have an opportunity to light up the scoreboard like he often does. This is a Philadelphia offensive line that is the backbone of this Eagles team this year. And a Philadelphia, given that Jalen Hurts, I don't think is 100%, can continue to run the football successfully. You milk the clock, you dominate time of possession, you put points on the board, you had those elongated drives that really can snatch the soul out of the opponent like we've seen with the previous two games for Philadelphia. You dominate that offensive line of scrimmage. Philadelphia is going to be in a really great spot, led by that offensive line in a game that might be Jason Kelce's last as a legendary figure that he is in the history of this franchise.
My final key for Kansas City is while the Eagles may have the better overall roster, you have the better quarterback and you need him to play like it. Patrick Mahomes has to be the best player in this game, and if he is, the Chiefs could win a Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, and for Philadelphia's offense, A.J. Brown had an incredible year. He set the record for the most receiving yards in the history of the franchise. DeVonta Smith set a record for the most receptions in a single season, and this is a Chiefs secondary that can be exposed. They are very young. And this Philadelphia offense and the system that they run has been able to really take advantage of some subpar defenses all throughout the year. I understand that Jalen Hurts' shoulder injury might not be 100%, but quick passes and allowing DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown to get out open in space and use their physical tools to really dominate this football game, that's how the Birds can be successful offensively.
So before we get out of here, drop your score predictions down in the comment section below. It's the Chiefs and Eagles. Chase and I will be here all week long. He on Philadelphia Eagles Now, myself on the Chiefs Report. So we will have you guys covered on all things Super Bowl 57. Drop your score predictions, and we'll see you soon here from Radio Row.